Shalom. The Midrash teaches that if a person of learning participates in the affairs of their community, that person gives stability to the land. But if a person sits in their home and says to themselves, what have the affairs of society to do with me? Why should I trouble myself? That person will overthrow the world. Voting and participation in the democratic process are deeply Jewish values. That is why we created the Emanu El Votes campaign, and that is why we are trying to turn out 100% of Emmanuel's eligible voters in this year's election. Today, I am asking you to make a plan to vote in the election this fall. To begin, go to our EE Votes page at emmanuelhouston.org/EE-Votes. There you will find quick and easy tools to make a voting plan, and you can sign our voter pledge to help us become a 100% voting congregation. Studies have shown that people who make a specific plan for how they will vote are much more likely to actually cast a ballot. So thank you in advance for your commitment. Now, here's how you can vote in this year's election. You may be able to vote by mail by requesting and completing an application for your mail-in ballot before October 23rd. Our website will help you to determine eligibility and to learn how to request a mail-in ballot. If you wish to vote by mail, we strongly encourage you to apply for a ballot early, well before the October 23rd deadline. This year, there are 3 ways to vote in person. First, you can early vote, which we recommend because of lighter crowds, shorter lines, and time to correct unanticipated problems like forgetting your ID. Harris County will have over 120 locations at which to early vote from October 13th through October 30th. This includes weekends. Voting hours have been extended and several early voting locations will even open for 24 hours during the last day of voting. On our website, you can find a link to Harris Votes for early voting locations, dates, and hours. Second, in response to the pandemic, Harris County will have 9 drive-through voting locations. If you choose to drive through at NRG Stadium, they will have different entry points during early voting versus election day. So make sure to check our website's link to Harris Votes for maps and details. And finally, you can vote in person on November 3rd at any of Harris County's 721 election day polling places. We are excited to announce that for the first time, Congregation Emanu will be a polling place on election day only. So if you choose to vote on election day, please feel free to use our spacious spiritual home to do so. If you vote in person, whether early, via drive-through, or on election day, remember to bring your photo ID. Links to acceptable forms of ID and to voting in neighboring counties if you are not a Harris County resident are also available on the EE Votes webpage. Harris County is implementing extensive procedures to ensure that residents can vote safely and efficiently despite COVID-19. For example, the county will provide all poll workers with personal protective equipment. Check-in will be touchless with poll workers scanning IDs from behind plexiglass barriers. Voting machines will be distanced and floor indicators will show voters how to remain 6 feet apart. Voters will be asked to wear masks and masks will be available to those who arrive without them. All voters will be offered a finger cover so that they can vote without directly touching machines. There will be multiple sanitation stations at each polling location for use before and after voting. If you have questions or want more details, please visit our Emanu El Votes webpage. Again, that address is emmanuelhouston.org/EE-Votes. Voting is a central Jewish and American value. It is also a sacred responsibility. Now is the time to make your plan and then to go and vote. L'shana tova.